This is the story about how my suitcase went on a 5-day European adventure without me. It all started innocently enough with my bag with me as we landed in Charles de Gaulle. But that would be the last time I could say that, because there was some sort of breakdown on our connecting flight to Geneva and hardly anybody's bags on that flight got transferred.
We lost our bags.
They lost all
their bags.
We got some chocolate as a consolation because we had no choice but to soldier on without any of our luggage. Air France said they would reimburse us for some essentials, so we went to the store to just get a couple of things we needed. Then it was off to Zermatt, which you can't drive into, you can only take a train, which we did with my little paper bag on the floor full of about 24 hours worth of stuff because at this point I was still hopeful. I changed into my new Swiss outfit and then we went out to dinner. Not knowing where our suitcases were meant that we had to have extra chocolate for dessert. Afterward, my husband heard from Air France that his suitcase was on its way to Geneva, but I hadn't heard anything about mine. My AirTag said that it was still in Paris, so I looked up the tracking number and I found that it was scheduled for a flight to Barcelona. So we called them and said, please don't send my suitcase to Barcelona, and they said, no problem. I go to bed and then wake up to find my suitcase is in Spain, but I'm in Switzerland with impractical footwear and a little bit of frustration. So naturally the only solution to this is to eat a lot of cheese followed by a lot of chocolate. And try to just see it as a big adventure because these things happen, right? So we just try to focus on having fun in Zermatt in between the calls to Air France about our luggage. Day 3 comes and we check out and the porter of the electric vehicle asks where our suitcases are. But good news, Elliot's is in Geneva, which means it's finally in the same country as us. But we're on our way to our next location. So we learn a helpful German phrase and call Air France yet again from the parking lot of this really expensive burger place. They really can't tell us when our suitcases are going to reach us, so we go shopping yet again. And we feel a little bit like this. We get back on the road and head to our new location, and when we arrive, we find Elliot's suitcase. And Air France sent me an email saying that my suitcase had arrived at Geneva airport, which was incorrect because my AirTag said it was back in Paris. At this point, I'd pretty much lost all hope, because the next morning it was still in Paris and we had to leave again. So we called Air France and said just keep it in Paris because that's where we're headed next. So I took my new little suitcase that I got because I was tired of carrying my stuff in brown paper shopping bags. We boarded the TGV towards Paris, where I learned that my suitcase was finally en route to our hotel. And so we hurried as fast as we could across the city to get to it. I've never been so happy to see my suitcase in my entire life. And while I finally felt like myself again, this story doesn't have an entirely happy ending, because after almost a month of calling and emailing, Air France has yet to reimburse us for $1,100 of things that we had to buy.